Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Snoop4Truth. The incredible music that you're hearing in the background was provided by Roland Germain. Thank you for the new Snoop4Truth theme. Good afternoon, everybody. It's Virgo. I'm back with more Snoop4Truth. So we are going to be talking about in this video something I know you guys are all going to be very interested in, because every single one of you at one point or another has followed at least one of these individuals and the crazy making that they have done. Now that we've gotten Miss Deborah Tavares out of the way, at least for this week, because there's so much more to come from her, we're going to be talking about the track record of other amateur legal gurus, and we're going to be talking about what it is that each one of these guys have actually had to deal with by attempting to try to be a guru. First, we have Anthony Williams.
A one-of-a-kind battle in a Broward courtroom. Prosecutors facing off against a man defending himself.
A man who claims he doesn't need a license to practice law, whose arguments would the jury believe. It's tonight's edition of Carmel on the Case.
"44-year-old Anthony Williams was all smiles in court, charged with practicing law without a license.
Very simply, the state intends to prove through the presentation of evidence and documents that Mr. Williams is pretending to be a lawyer."
Williams operates an internet-based law firm. He was accused of acting as an attorney after he filed documents in a foreclosure case. Williams calls himself a private attorney general and a sovereign peace officer. Authorities call Williams a sovereign citizen. Believers think many laws do not apply to them.
You can't arrest nobody for a traffic violation.
Well, we are.
Last year, Williams posted this video of his arrest for driving without a license.
I'm also a foreign diplomat.
He says he doesn't need one. During that case, which took 8 months to conclude, he was taken to jail twice. First for failure to follow a judge's order, and then later for driving without a license a second time. In the end, he entered a no-contest plea and paid a fine. But then,
Mr. Williams, you're under arrest.
a month later, Williams was back in handcuffs, this time facing felony charges involving the unlicensed practice of law. When taken into custody at the airport, Williams was carrying his private attorney general ID, the badge, and handcuffs.
Y'all charging me with unlicensed practice of law, and I'm trying to understand what law are you charging me with unlicensed, because there's a whole bunch of law.
At trial, Williams represented himself.
The state have been very deceptive and misleading in what the real law is in the state of Florida.
He spent much of the time arguing with the judge.
And I've never given legal advice. I only give lawful advice, and there's a difference between legal and lawful.
You're arguing apples and oranges.
It took the jury 1 hour before returning the same verdict on all 10 charges.
The defendant is guilty of unlicensed practice of law as charged in the information.
It was bad news for Williams, and it was about to get worse. Judge Andrew Siegel sentenced him to 180 days in jail, 22 years probation, and ordered him to turn over his badges and ID.
He's prohibited from calling himself a private attorney general, an attorney, or implying in any which way, shape, or form that he has any ability to practice law.
As his supporters listened, Williams lashed out at prosecutors.
Both y'all state attorneys are crooks. Both y'all criminals, and y'all gonna pay for what you did. The jury was rigged. I will find out. And both y'all going to jail.
But it is Williams who is in jail now, and he has more to think about than this case. According to authorities, he is currently being investigated for mortgage fraud.
Amateur legal guru Anthony Williams was arrested and jailed twice in Florida for relying on the same exact amateur legal theory peddled by Eddie Craig, the no driver's license needed if not engaged in commerce lie. The 3-minute video that you just watched was of him in court. This does not include the 10 more arrests and incarceration of Williams in Tennessee for relying on the same exact amateur legal theory peddled by Eddie Craig described above. So here Williams actually loses a lawsuit he filed against the state of Tennessee for requiring him to have a driver's license to drive a motor vehicle despite that he was not engaged in commerce. Now, some of you may remember Anthony Williams from a video that I did a couple of months ago. It's actually located on the front of the Virgo Triad channel welcome page. And this is the same gentleman that actually attempted to try to sue himself for $5 million. He wanted that $5 million to be paid out of his secret trust squirrel account so that he could pocket it. And next we have Carl Miller.
Positive chain. And every time they see you in that goofy hat you wear, they go, oh, for God's sake, don't give that guy no ticket. I have actually been pulled over, listening to the program, didn't have no plates on my car. Policeman called, he says, you got positive ID on the guy? And a friend of mine was taping it off his police radio. He said, yeah, it's him. He said, well, for God's sake, don't give that guy no ticket. And the guy says, Sarge, he ain't got no plates on his car. I said, I don't give a damn what he ain't got on his car. Don't give that guy no ticket.
Amateur legal guru Carl Miller. This was actually a request from a subscriber that wanted to know some additional information with regards to Carl Miller. Actually, Carl Miller is not this guy's real name. His real name is Richard John Champion. He's a multi-convicted felon who has been involuntarily incarcerated in at least one mental institute. And I'm going to try to pronounce this, and we'll see if I get it even close. I believe it is the Ypsilanti Psychiatric Hospital. Now, that psychiatric hospital has since closed, but he was actually placed in that psychiatric hospital due to his ramblings. Apparently, Miller has a 100% failure rate in court, even though he peddles to everyone that he has never lost a case. This failure rate that Carl Miller, or otherwise known as his real name, Richard John Champion, that he peddles to everyone is the same as every single other amateur legal guru that's out there. They fail every single time. Now, if you have a Pacer account, you can log on and read the petition which Champion Richard himself handwrote and which he filed. I'm going to go ahead and put this information in the description for you guys so that if you want to take a look at it, you can. I don't currently have a Pacer account, so I did not pull this up, but I will go ahead and list it for you in case you want to read more on it. Note that Miller admits that he was in a mental institute at the time that he filed the action, after having been found guilty of 7 counts of violation of his probation for possessing a weapon as a convicted felon. So for more Miller losses, you can take a look at the Pacer information, and I will, like I said, link that in the description for you so that way you have all of that information in order to look him up. Next, we have the very famous on this channel, amateur legal guru, Winston Shrout.
Hello there, I'm Winston Shrout. I'm here today to present a few items for educational purposes only, as it seems to always be. Hoping everybody's getting pretty well educated, so our educational program then would be working. The subject for today has to do with the acceptance for value. Now, this is one of the primary building blocks of the commercial redemption program. And hopefully after I get done today, and maybe in subsequent conversations that I might have in regards to this matter, we should pretty much expose it for the value that it has, and to demonstrate that it is a necessary function of commerce, and something which you really need to understand in order to make progress.
Amateur legal guru Winston Shrout was convicted and sentenced, just recently sentenced as a matter of fact, and was supposed to be reporting to prison in March. However, he took off and is now on the lam. He is a fugitive. He was actually indicted and convicted on passing fake checks that are drawn on an imaginary secret trust squirrel account at the U.S. Treasury in accordance with amateur legal theories, as you guys have heard many, many times. Links will be in the description for Winston Shrout on all of the news articles and additional information pertaining to his case for those of you that have not had a chance to check it out on my channel previously. Winston also has a playlist on the Virgo Triad channel under Winston Shrout. Just take a look at my homepage on my channel, and in the playlist area you will find that playlist. And next we have amateur legal guru Tim Turner.
Okay, the Military Commissions Act of 2006 removes the right of habeas corpus. Now, the habeas corpus is very important because it gives you the right to a trial by jury, gives you the right to make bail pending trial, so you can be with your family, because you're just accused of a crime. You haven't been convicted yet. In our system of government, you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. Now, unless you've committed something that is violent and heinous where you would be a danger to the public, you're supposed to be able to go home on bail until you're pending trial. That's the way our system was created. That's not what's going on in America today. They'll deny habeas corpus just like that. It's illegal for them to do it. It's unlawful for them to do that.
Amateur legal guru Tim Turner, Rod Class's lifelong idol and teacher, by the way, loses all of his own cases and goes to prison for 18 years for peddling amateur legal theories on how to avoid federal income taxes, just like Class peddles. And I'm going to include in the description of this video the FBI archives for that information if you would like to actually take a look at it. It's kind of interesting. Next, we have amateur legal guru Carl Lentz.
Are we rolling? Yeah. Good. Carl's not used to this hillbilly land. Yeah.
What do you mean he's not used to it? Is he from Virginia? What the hell you want? He was an Estevan.
This is the place you find all the characters.
Running around as a dog.
Direct it to,
Direct it to everybody.
So most folks know what I do. You know, I try to help people put claims into courts instead of trying to answer complaints. I tell people, you know, flip it around and make sure that you got your case into the court at the same time that they're moving their complaint against you into the court. Because answering complaints could take an awful lot of time. And once you know, time is a commodity that once it's used, it can't be restored. So they could just keep making complaints over everything. Like I say to somebody on the shows all the time, I said if we're worried about every single thing like say an ex-wife complained about, I'd never be able to function. I wouldn't be able to get out of the door if I had to answer every single complaint before I got up and went to work in the morning. So answering complaints takes an awful lot of time. So you want to try to get it answered, their complaints back with a claim as fast as you can. So that way you get in and out of court as fast as you can.
so that you're aware, amateur legal guru Carl Lentz has always lost every one of his own cases. He has never won one. And he always pays his own traffic tickets and fines, just like everybody else who peddles these amateur legal theories. It's absolutely crazy to me how these guys go out there talking about right to travel crap, and you can actually just look up the cases and see that they themselves have either paid them or they're outstanding or whatever. It never differs. Never differs. They don't win any of these cases. And for people that buy this bogus crap, you're in for a world of hurt and a lot of financial problems. Next, we have amateur legal guru Dean Clifford.
21st century mod cons. Now, my very special guest joining me is Dean Clifford, coming at us from the kleptocratic Republic of Congo, otherwise known as Canada.
Oh my God, yeah. How you doing, Vinny?
I'm somewhat fabulous. I mean, my YouTube channel's still down, but you know, I'll survive that.
I have yet to hear what happened with that, actually, and I'm sure we're going to have a talk about it, but it seems that we're all under attack on YouTube, which is just lends even more credence to why we need our own system, because they're just starting to lock down YouTube now. We can't keep our accounts online. Mine got shut down for copyright infringements for using my own videos. So
how dare he?
Yeah, I apparently I can't use my own videos. That's apparently it's a copyright somebody else maybe owns. I have no idea. But either way, my channel went down as well, and we're rebuilding it right now. But this is nonsense already. This is why we need our own system. This is why we need our own governments. This is why we need to build something for us, because this other system, we're just never going to be able to do anything in it.
Just so that you guys know, amateur legal guru Dean Clifford always loses all of his own cases, too. He also goes to prison, and like everybody else who peddles amateur legal theories, finds himself in a heap of trouble. So I'm going to link in the description not only the video that you just saw a little piece of, but also a article that you could take a look at with regards to his sentencing. Next we have, I'm sure you remember very well from Sovereign Citizen history, amateur legal guru Johnny Liberty, real name John David Van Hove.
Tonight the topic is about taboo, because I'm beginning to enter into the domain of taboo. Now you may have a gut feeling about what taboo is. What is taboo? Well, something that's forbidden, something you don't talk about, something you don't even acknowledge has any reality, you know. And so I'm going to enter into some domains of taboo tonight, and I welcome you to open your minds. I welcome you to, just for this evening, if it's possible, to set aside all of your preconceptions. Just imagine that possibly the whole universe is being created right in this moment.
I have done extensive research on Johnny Liberty, and if you want to take a look at the Sovereign Citizen History playlist on the Virgo Triad homepage of my channel, you will find in the Sovereign Citizen History folder an hour-long video on Johnny Liberty. His real name, of course, being John David Van Hove. He loses all of his own cases and ends up going to prison just like everybody else who peddles amateur legal theories. I'm going to link a couple of videos under his name for you guys so that you can take a look at them if you should choose to. Now, many of you I know have already looked into Johnny Liberty because of the SovCit handbook that was uploaded. But just in case you want some additional information on his own his seminars and stuff, then you'll have that available to you. Next, we have amateur legal guru Ronnie Davis, and I know this is a favorite of a lot of you. We've also gone over this some, and many of you follow Ronnie Davis's case up to date, so you should enjoy this.
Do they have a boss there that we were supposed to speak to, sir? Because I got to have a list of names of all the people that sent me someplace else, because I'm submitting a commercial bill of attainder, a bill of lading. And are you a licensed attorney? Now he gets a bill. And we will go ahead and file a 1099 a commercial lien, and affidavit of truth, a statement of facts, a bill of lading, a bill of attainder, and are you a licensed attorney? 11 judges in prison, 300 children back from DCF, and haven't lost a case. Why am I still standing? Waiting for my Fennec and Schaefer moment. Come on. And are you a licensed attorney? You turn my right into a privilege. I submit a bill of lading, a bill of attainder, a commercial lien, an affidavit of truth, and a statement of facts. And pretty soon you don't have a judge. You have a criminal in prison wearing orange because he didn't honor his oath of office under Title 18 U.S.C. 2381, Canon number 7. And are you a licensed attorney? Because we have 11 judges already going to prison to call twice a week to beg, please don't prosecute, and we have one already in prison. And are you a licensed attorney? And bringing commerce into a court of record is capital felony treason and violates your oath of office under Title 18 U.S.C. 2381, Canon number 7. And are you a licensed attorney? You go to Clearwater and we submit another bill of attainder, a commercial lien, and a bill of affidavit. When we send in a 1099, a commercial lien, a bill of lading, a bill of attainder, and an affidavit of truth and a statement of facts, I know who's going to prison. And are you a licensed attorney? Failure to acquiesce is violation of Title 18 U.S.C. 28. And are you a licensed attorney? And why the oath of office in violation of that insurance bond was violated under Title 18 U.S.C. 23 on Canon number 7 when a judge or a police officer violates the oath of office, they're no longer immune and punishable as any other criminal. And are you a licensed attorney? This is capital felony treason. It is a policy enforcement officer. That's why they're called police. It stands for policy. Most people don't know this. Today, 2 more judges and a state attorney go to prison like the other 11 judges that we got in prison. They keep on telling us, you got to have a law license. There's no such thing as a law license. And are you a licensed attorney? But see, that's what happens when you're committing capital felony treason under Title 18 U.S.C. 2381 and Canon number 7. And are you a licensed attorney?
So, amateur legal guru Ronnie Davis loses all of his own cases, as we know, and goes to prison, just like everybody else who peddles on amateur legal theories. Under Ronnie Davis, in the description of this video, you will find a number of articles, information from Southern Poverty Law Center, information on his arrests, and his case. So, just so that you guys are aware, if you want additional information on any of these people that you're seeing, please look in the description. All of the links will be there for you. Amateur legal guru Lyle Van Dyke, the real author of Silent Weapons for Silent Wars, which is what we just went over in Snoop's previous video today, always loses all of his own cases and ends up going to prison because he used amateur legal theories in both breaking the law and defending himself. I do not have a video for you guys. I'm going to attempt to try to locate a picture for you. I'm not sure whether I will be able to, but there are links in the description should you want to check out more information with regards to Van Dyke. Again, for those of you that have Pacer accounts, and I know lots of you on this channel do, please make sure that you see under his name, Lyle Van Dyke's name, for the Pacer information. And we have amateur legal guru Rod Class.
We're rolling. Right.
Okay.
We're rolling.
We're rolling. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I was asked to come up to Woodstock and to sit down and expose a lot of what we discovered here on AIB radio with the researchers that I have, with the talent that we have, and the people giving out knowledge. Everybody's dealing with foreclosures, child services, traffic tickets, criminal charges. Here with Paul and Joe, we're dealing with, dealing with marijuana and this kind of issues here. We need to get back to the foundation. So I wrote up here, and it's going to be on the board, some of the historical facts of what we're talking about. So let me get in and let me present this to you. The question is, how can we fix the problems such as foreclosures, traffic, child services, criminal cases, and corruption in the court system?
Before you can address it, you first have to know the historical background that was put into place over the years that has created this problem.
Let's talk about amateur legal guru Rod Class for a moment. Information from Snoop on Rod Class is he is a functioningly illiterate amateur legal theorist with barely a high school education, a history of psychiatric problems, and a history of losing every single administrative and judicial case in which he has ever been involved. More than 73 consecutive cases in a row and still counting, according to Snoop. Class is also a 2-time weapon-related convicted felon who has been placed on the United States Terror Watch list. More importantly, Class is a professional hoaxer and charlatan who manufactures and peddles elaborate hoaxes to intentionally defraud the American people. All right, so do we see a pattern forming here? I would say there's definitely a pattern. All right, thank you so much to Snoop4Truth for all of your hard work and research with regards to all of these amateur legal gurus. Just so that everybody is aware, if you will share these videos for Snoop, you will find that a lot of people actually are really interested in them because a lot of people, hundreds of thousands of people, for example, follow Deborah Tavares. Now, if you want more information that Snoop has provided for us, make sure that you take a look at my playlists on my homepage of my channel. Look for Snoop4Truth in the playlist, and you will find all of the videos are there. If you share out the entire playlist, then you're going to find that a lot of people, potentially on your social media, for example, are going to be interested because generally, almost everybody that I speak to anyway online has at least listened to one of these gurus and has at some point been either confused or interested in why it is that they're doing what they're doing. All right, everybody, I hope this was informative and interesting to everyone. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Snoop4Truth. Once again, thank you to Roland for the wonderful Snoop4Truth theme song, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.